I want to share with you the four top reasons why David and I decided that we wanted to live in mainland Honduras and not Canada. And to be honest, I have zero regrets. So stick around because the last one is something that I want to share, which is more of a hard truth than a reason about living here that most people don't tell you about before you move to a country like Honduras. But it's the main reason why I will never move back to Canada. So if you don't know us, my name is Suzanne. This is David, my husband. I'm a Canadian. He's a Honduran, and we live full time here in mainland Honduras.
Hi, I'm David. I'm so sorry I don't speak English, but it's nice to meet you.
So there's a lot of people that wonder with a marriage like ours why I didn't just grab David and bring him to Canada. So today, this is going to be like an honest discussion, we could put it that way, to answer this specific question.
Reason uno. One.
I fell in love with Honduras from the very first time that I landed in Honduras for a visit. There's something just about the tropics, the sun, the heat. I think as a Canadian, we all try to escape winter. So the weather here is just fantastic. I love it. And one of the things, too, that I think when you think of moving to a tropical country is the fact that I wouldn't have to live the long, long winters from Canada. And that, in my books, is a perk. And speaking about the weather, is that since it's beautiful weather most of the year, or pretty much year round, uh, we don't have to live so closed off. In Canada, because of the cold months, when we have a house, well, basically everything is just closed up because we don't want the cold to come in. So here we don't have any of that. We live in nature or kind of with nature. So you don't have to have the sealed doors, the sealed, you just live in nature, which is a wonderful thing. A side note that most people, when they see Honduras, maybe on a map or hear about Honduras online, is that they will see Roatan, the islands, or they're going to see the big cities of Honduras, sometimes with the danger aspect in it too. But trust me, if you do come to Honduras, take the time to travel within mainland Honduras because the raw beauty of the nature here, the mountains, the fauna, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. So even if you're just in a bus going from one place to another, look out the window. It's just amazing. Another perk, you can experience a whole different adventure when you come to what we call El Campo, being more in the mountain areas, really how people live, the local Hondurans, they cook differently. Life is just very different and wholesome in those mountainous areas. So if you come, definitely try and get that experience.
Reason dos. Two.
From day one, what struck me the most is really the people. I think just felt such a connection to the Honduran people because they're so kind, so lovely, so generous. Something that will strike you first time you come to Honduras, especially just walking around, is that people will say hello. You walk by and they'll say hey, or they'll even ask like, "How are you? Where are you from?" and things like that. It's just part of their culture to be nice and to be friendly. Being in Honduras or being with the Honduran people, it feels like being part of some sort of community and almost like already friends, just because part of their culture is to be friendly. And I think it almost feels like an extroverted culture in a certain sense. But of course, when you're talking about a Canadian culture, we're more reserved. We don't talk to strangers. Even when I was little, it's just like I wasn't brought up that you will say hello to strangers. No. But here, kids are taught you have to say hello to everybody. You have to say hello to your elders. And also, buen provecho when they're having lunch and you're passing by. It's just part of the normal politeness of the country, which I just think is so adorable. Another part of the people that I find so endearing is neighbors. You'll have a lot of neighbors. Obviously, they're very kind of tight knit. Neighbors know you and they look out for you. Just to give you an example of the difference that I felt here, is that when I lived in Montreal, I lived in an apartment building, and maybe like a lot of fellow Montrealers, you barely will see your neighbors. And if they do pass by you, most times I didn't say anything and they didn't say anything back. But here it's just part of the culture. You get to know your neighbors. And to be honest, they've helped us out in many scrapes. We've been locked out of the house a couple times, and they've even helped when David left his keys in the motorcycle that was parked outside. So they've been so helpful, so nice. Even when we were building this house, they let us keep our tools or materials in their own home. So it's just been such a nice atmosphere, community sense of community here in Honduras.
Reason 3.
Another reason that Honduras, in this case, was just a better option for us when we got married is the cost of living. Obviously, when we think of earnings versus the cost of living, it's pretty relative in most countries. But the cost of living, obviously, for the two of us as a base, is a lot cheaper for us to live here than it is to go to Canada, to live in Canada for the basic needs, right? And also in the sense that when we got married, if we would have asked for David's residency or tried to do the paperwork to get him into Canada, it generally takes 2 years living in Canada to get the paperwork done. And in those 2 years, he wouldn't be able to work. So we would have to live, both of us, on my income, which would be a really difficult situation versus being here where we can both work, and with the little income we have, even if it's not very much, we still live very comfortably and simply. Thankfully, we've been able to buy land here and build our own house, which was done little by little, as much as we could put into it. The process and everything was much, much cheaper, and something we can do here, but would never be able to accomplish in Canada, just because the prices are just so tremendous. So, bottom line is that building a home or family here was just much more of an easier option for us. I feel that this is actually something interesting for Canadians, especially if you're at the point in your life where you're going to retire or you want to retire and your home is too big, if you have a home, or if your retirement income just doesn't get you enough, or the basics. Sometimes I know there's a lot of people that are struggling with paying just the basic necessities with retirement. So that's one of the perks, is that here your Canadian dollar actually stretches a lot more. You can get a lot more for your buck here than you do in Canada.
Reason 4.
So I promised you a hard truth about Honduras and about moving here. The truth is, Honduras changes you. As a Canadian coming to move and live here in Honduras, you can't stay the same person you were in Canada. And this is something that, thankfully, in my case, was a change for the better. When in Canada, I think for a lot of us, the rhythm of life, the cost of life, everything is just so stressful that you run. It's almost like this treadmill that you're on to try and keep up with daily life. And here, the pace of life is, or the rhythm of life is so different. You can't plan, let's just say, your whole year in advance, which some people do in Canada. It's like planning ahead, way months ahead. It's just not something that is plausible here. People live day to day, and that's okay. If you're able to adapt to that slower rhythm of life, it just feels like there's a weight that's lifted. There's less stress. I don't have to control or schedule everything. And it's really beautiful to embrace that change and not have Honduras try to be as you want it to, but you be your new self in Honduras. So, if you're someone that's interested in coming to visit Honduras or move to Honduras and you have questions, that it be about the country, about the people, about the paperwork, anything like that, definitely leave us comments or questions. I will be reviewing each and every one of them and answering them. So join us for more videos like this and to answer your questions.
Subscribe for more of Honduras.